Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories
Hare
to
Krishna,
Shri.
Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Sami Prabhu, for hosting the reading sessions. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for joining, Prabhu. Who wants to chant the Mangalacham prayers? Maybe Karti Prabhu.
Can I chant
Yes,
if it's okay? But
Yes.
are you able to hear me, Prabhu? Is my voice audible first?
Yes, it's okay, Prabhu. Please chant.
I hope it's clear. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamshta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamshta He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
Haribol, thank you
To
so much.
recite the Bhagavatam prayers, no?
Oh, yes, Prabhu, of course.
You forgot, Prabhu. Huh?
No, Prabhu, I was going there next. Okay, please chant, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयत् उदीरयेत्. So we have to read the English and then go to the Sanskrit next again, right?
Or you can read all Sanskrit, then translation.
Okay. शृण्वतां स्वकतः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदि अन्तः स्थितो हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. We can read the English now. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Sri Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Thank you so much for allowing me to read, Prabhus. Hare Krishna. If it's okay, can I start with...
Yes,
can I start with the Bhagavatam Sanskrit and translation purport as well, if it's okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Subham Prabhu. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Subham Prabhu, Dandar Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. So this is chapter, I forgot, Canto 1, chapter 8 or 9, maybe 8, text number 38.
1:8, is it?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, I would say so.
1:8:38. All right, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Right, noted.
Semi Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu.
can you hear me? Prabhu, like I'm asking you, like Balaram Purnima is coming on Saturday, no? I think after 3 days, I think. So can we read 2 days about his glories and other like whatever is in like Srimad Bhagavatam or something other? Just a request to you.
Saturday. Maybe, Prabhu. We'll see on Friday.
Friday, but Friday, Prabhu, it will be that session without the clearing session.
No, Prabhu. I said we will decide on Friday if what we read on Saturday.
Okay, no, I was saying that from today to Saturday or Sunday,
But maybe too
or
much.
can we read it in one day?
We can ask Karti Prabhu because he's the organizer usually.
No,
Okay.
no. I mean, Sami
Like,
Prabhu
I
is
don't
very
know, Prabhu,
humble.
how long it will
He
take.
can, he can choose. Sami Prabhu, up to you, Prabhu. I mean, today, of course, we started Bhagavatam, so we can read. Up to you, whatever you want to do, we can do. Yeah, if it's okay with you, you can just. Sorry, Prabhu.
Prabhu, actually, I don't know how much time it can take. So it's your choice only. If it can't take much time, then we can start on Saturday also as well.
So one thing we'll do now, we'll read Sami Prabhu. He can do some research and he can let us know what can be done. Is that okay, Amit Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, I think that is best.
That will help.
Okay,
Today,
Prabhu.
as usual, we can.
Yeah, because we already started. No, that's why. Okay,
Yes,
Prabhu. Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. I can
Sorry,
continue.
Prabhu.
I just
No, no, no.
Dandavat Pranam to all of you.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Thank you so much for joining, Subham Prabhu. All glories to Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Sami Prabhu, can you help me out with the tune?
Kevayam nama rupabhyam yadubi saha pandava.
केवायं नाम रूपाभ्यं यदुभिः सह पाण्डवः भावतो दर्शनं यार्हि ऋषिकानम् इवेशितुः. Okay, just a minute. Hare Krishna. Yes, okay. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1:8:38. K. Who are Vayam, we, Nama, Rupabhyam, without fame and ability, Yadubihi, with the Yadus, Saha, along with Pandavaha and the Pandavas, Bhavataha, your Adarshanam, absence, Yarhi, as if, Rishikanam, of the senses, Hiva, like, Ishituhu, Ishituhu, of the living being. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Translation: as the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities, along with the Pandavas and Yadus, will end at once. Purport: Kunti Devi is quite aware that the existence of the Pandavas is due to Sri Krishna only. The Pandavas are undoubtedly well established in name and fame and are guided by the great king Yudhishthira, who is morality personified, and the Yadus are undoubtedly great allies. But without the guidance of Lord Krishna, all of them are non-entities, as much as the senses of the body are useless without the guidance of consciousness. No one should be proud of his prestige, power, and fame without being guided by the favor of the Supreme Lord. The living beings are always dependent, and the ultimate dependable object is the Lord Himself. We may therefore invent by our advancement of material knowledge all sorts of counteracting material resources, but without being guided by the Lord, all such inventions end in fiasco. However strong and stout the reactionary elements may be. Same tune, is it, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
I forgot the tune again. Can you just remind me again?
Neyam sobhishyate tatra yatendanim katadara.
Right. Neyam shobhishyate tatra yathedanim gadhadhara tvatpader ankitha bhati swalakshana vilakshitaihi. Not iyam, this land of our kingdom, shobhishyate, will appear beautiful. Tatra, then, yatha, as it is now, idhanim, how, gadhadhara, O Krishna, tvat, your, padaihi, by the feet, ankitha, marked, bhati is dazzling, swalakshana, your own marks, vilakshitaihi, by the impressions. Translation. O Gadadhara, Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked by the impressions of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful. But when you leave, it will no longer be so. Purport. There are certain particular marks on the feet of the Lord which distinguish the Lord from others. The marks of a flag, thunderbolt, an instrument to drive an elephant, umbrella, lotus, disc, etc., are on the bottom of the Lord's feet. These marks are impressed upon the soft dust of the land where the Lord traverses. The land of Hastinapur was thus marked while Lord Sri Krishna was there with the Pandavas, and the kingdom of the Pandavas thus flourished by such auspicious signs. Kunti Devi pointed out the distinguished features and was afraid of ill luck in the absence of the Lord. Text 40. Which tune is this, Prabhu?
Ime jana padaspradda supakausha divvirudaha vanadrinadya udanvanto yedante tava vikshitai.
Okay, now that you've read it, I think I don't need to read it. So, Hime, all these, Janapadaha, cities and towns, Sriddhaha, flourished, Supaka, nature, Aushadhi, herbs, Virudaha, vegetables, Vana, forest, Adri, hills, Nadi, rivers, Udhanvantaha, seas, he certainly, Edhante, increasing, Tava, your, Vikshitaihi, seen. Translation. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. Purport. Human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gigantic industrial enterprises. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization, and they cause the destruction of the noble aims of human life. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of the people in general. Although a few only can live lavishly by exploitation. The natural gifts such as grains and vegetables, fruits, rivers, the hills of jewels and minerals, and the seas full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme. And as he desires, material nature produces them in abundance or restricts them at times. The natural law is that the human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our whims of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reaction of such exploitative attempts. If we have sufficient grains, fruits, vegetables, and herbs, then what is the necessity of running a slaughterhouse and killing poor animals? A man need not kill an animal if he has sufficient grains and vegetables to eat. The flow of river water fertilizes the fields, and there is more than what we need. Minerals are produced in the hills and the jewels in the ocean. If the human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, water, milk, etc., then why should it hanker after terrible industrial enterprises at the cost of the labor of some unfortunate men? But all these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to be obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve human perfection of life by devotional service. The indications by Kunti Devi are just to the point. She desires that God's mercy be bestowed upon them so that natural prosperity be maintained by His grace. Text 41. Any other devotee want to read, or I can continue? So I can continue?
Yes, Prabhu.
Ata Vishvesh Vishvatman Vishvamurte Swakeshu me Sneha Pasham Imam Chindhi Dridham Pandushu Vrishnishu. Atha, therefore, Vishva Isha, O Lord of the universe, Vishva Atman, O soul of the universe, Vishvamurte, O personality of the universal form, Swakeshu, unto my own kinsman, may my Sneha Pasham, tie of affection, Imam, this, Chindhi, cut off, Dridham, deep, Pandushu, for the Pandavas, Vrishnishu, for the Vrishnis also. Translation. O Lord of the universe, soul of the universe, a personality of the form of the universe, please, therefore, sever my tie of affection for my kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Vrishnis. Purport. A pure devotee of the Lord is ashamed to ask anything in self-interest from the Lord, but the householders are sometimes obliged to ask favors from the Lord, being bound by the tie of family affection. Srimati Kunti Devi was conscious of this fact, and therefore she prayed to the Lord to cut off the affectionate tie from her own kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Vrishnis. The Pandavas are her own sons, and the Vrishnis are the members of her paternal family. Krishna was equally related to both the families. Both the families required the Lord's help because both were dependent devotees of the Lord. Srimati Kunti Devi wished Sri Krishna to remain with her sons, the Pandavas, but by his doing, so her paternal house would be bereft of the benefit. All these partialities trouble the minds of Kunti, and therefore she desired to cut off the affectionate tie. A pure devotee cuts off the limited ties of affection for his family and widens his activities of devotional service for all forgotten souls. The typical example is a band of 6 Goswamis who followed the path of Lord Chaitanya. All of them belonged to the most enlightened and cultured rich families of the higher castes. But for the benefit of the mass of population, they left their comfortable homes and became mendicants. To cut off all family affection means to broaden the field of activities. Without doing this, no one can be qualified as a Brahmana, a king, a public leader, or a devotee of the Lord. The personality of Godhead as an ideal king showed this by example. Sri Ramachandra cut off the tie of affection of his beloved wife to manifest the qualities of an ideal king. Such personalities as a Brahmana, a devotee, a king, or a public leader must be very broad-minded in discharging respective duties. Weak as she was, Srimati Kunti Devi was conscious of this fact and she prayed to be free from such bondage of family affection. The Lord is addressed as the Lord of the universe or the Lord of the universal mind, indicating his all-powerful ability to cut the hard knot of family affection. Therefore, it is sometimes experienced that the Lord, out of his special affinity towards a weak devotee, breaks the family affection by force of circumstances by his all-powerful energy. By doing so, he causes the devotee to become completely dependent on him and thus clears up the path for his going back to Godhead. त्वयि मे नान्य विषया मध्ये माधुपते सकृत रतिम ओद्वहातत् अधा गंगे वाघम उधन्वति Tvayi, unto you, may, my, Ananya Vishaya, unalloyed, Matihi, attention. Madhupathe, O Lord of Madhu, Asakrit, continually, Ratim, attraction, Udvahatat, may overflow, Adha, directly, Ganga, the Ganges, Iva, like, Ogham, flows, Udanvati, down to the seas. Translation: O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn onto you without being diverted to anyone else. O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn to you without being diverted to anyone else. Purport: perfection of pure devotional service is attained when all attention is diverted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. To cut off the tie of all other affections does not mean complete negation of the finer elements like affection for someone else. This is not possible. A living being, whoever he may be, must have this feeling of affection for others, because this is a symptom of life. The symptoms of life, namely desire, anger, hankering, feelings of attraction, etc., cannot be annihilated. Only the objective has to be changed. Desire cannot be changed, but in devotional service, the desire is changed only for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification. The so-called affection for family, society, country, etc. are all different phases of sense gratification. When this desire is changed for the satisfaction of the Lord, it is called devotional service. In the Bhagavad Gita, we can see that Arjuna desired not to fight with his brothers and relations just to satisfy his own personal desires. But when he heard the message of the Lord, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, that's why I said Bhagavad Gita. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, he changed his decision and served the Lord. And for his doing so, he became a famous devotee of the Lord. For it is declared in all the scriptures that Arjuna attained spiritual perfection by devotional service to the Lord in friendship. The fighting was there, the friendship was there, Arjuna was there, and Krishna was there. But Arjuna became a different person by devotional service. Therefore, the prayers of Kunti also indicate the same categorical changes in activity. Srimati Kunti wanted to serve the Lord without diversion, and that was her prayer. This unalloyed devotion is the ultimate goal of life. Our attention is usually diverted in the service of something which is non-godly or not in the program of the Lord. When the program is changed into the service of the Lord, that is to say, when the senses are purified in relation with the service of the Lord, it is called pure, unalloyed. So we can scroll down. Yes. Where was I? Unalloyed devotional service. Srimati Kunti Devi wanted that perfection and prayed for it from the Lord. Her affection for the Pandavas and the Vrishnis is not out of the range of devotional service because service of the Lord and the service of the devotees are identical. Sometimes service of the devotee is more valuable than the service of the Lord. But here the affection of Kunti Devi for the Pandavas and the Vrishnis was due to family relation. This tie of affection in terms of material relation is a relation of Maya because the relations of the body or the mind are due to the influence of the external energy. Relations of the soul established in relation with the Supreme Soul are factual relation. When Kunti Devi wanted to cut off the family relation, she meant to cut off the relation of the skin. The skin relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. Where was I, Prabhu? Yeah, it's a cause of freedom, yes. This relation of the soul to the soul can be established by the via medium of the relation with the super soul. Seeing in the darkness is not seeing, but seeing by the light of the sun means to see the sun and everything else which was unseen in the darkness. That is the way of devotional service. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Some other devotee could please continue. Hare Krishna.
Haribo, thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, who wants to read the next one?
Prabhu, I can read.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hanuman Das
Oh,
ki jai.
Dandavat Pranam Lebang.
Haribo.
Oh, what is
Hare
this?
Krishna.
Shyam Govinda
Krishna.
Prabhu is here. Hare Krishna, Shyam Govinda Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna Govinda, accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada.
Extremely rare moment, Haribol. Yes,
Prabhu,
Shubham.
I can read
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna Krishna Sukhavasneras Bhavanindro Rajanyam Dahana Pargavirya Govind Godij Surati Haravatara Yogeshwara Akhil Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Sri Krishna, O Sri Krishna, Krishna Sakh, O friend of Arjuna, Vrishni, descendants of Vrishni, Rishabh, the chief, Honi, earth, through rebellious Rajanyams, dynasties of the kings, Dahan and later Aporg without deterioration of Virya, Proves, Govind, the proprietor of Golokdham, Go, Kagu, Dwij, the Brahmanas, Surya, the demigods, Arti, Hara, reliever of distress, Atara, one who descends, Yogeshwara, master of all mystic powers, Akhila, universal, Guru, O preceptor, Bhagavan, the poster of all opulence. Namaste, respectful obeisance unto you. O Krishna, O friend of Arjuna, O chief amongst the descendants of Krishna, you are the destroyer of those political parties which are disturbing element on this earth. Your progress never deteriorates. You are the proprietor of the transcendental abode and you descend to relieve the distress of the cows, the brahmanas and the devotees. You possess all mystic powers and you are the preceptor of the entire universe. You are the Almighty God and I offer you my respectful obeisance. This prose scroll down. A summary of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is made herein by Kunti Devi. The Almighty Lord has his eternal transcendental abode. He is engaged in keeping Surbi cows. He is served by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. He descends on the material world to reclaim his devotees and to annihilate the disturbing elements in groups of political parties and kings who are supported to be in the charge of administration work. He creates, maintains, and annihilates by his unlimited energies, and still he is always full with prowess and does not deteriorate in potency. The cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees of the Lord are all objects of his special attention because they are very important factor for the general welfare of living beings. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, I can read one verse. Sutavacha Pritayettam Kalapadai Parinuta Kilo Parinuta kilodaya mandam jahasa vaikunto mohayan nivamayaya. Sutta Uvacha said Pritaya by Prita Kunti Ittam this Kala Padai by chosen words Parinuta being worshipped Akila universal Udaya glories Mandam mildly Jahasa smiled Vaikunta the Lord Mohayan captivating Iva like Mayaya by mystic power. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sutta Goswami said, the Lord thus hearing the prayers of Kunti Devi, composed in choice words for his glorification, mildly smiled. That smile was enchanting, as is mystic power. Purport. Anything that is enchanting in the world is said to be a representation of the Lord. The conditioned souls who are engaged in trying to lord it over the material world are also enchanted by his mystic powers. But his devotees are enchanted in a different way by the glories of the Lord, and his merciful blessings are upon them. His energy is displayed in different ways as electrical energy works in manifold capacities. Srimati Kunti Devi has prayed to the Lord just to enunciate a fragment of his glories. All his devotees worship him in that way, by chosen words, and therefore the Lord is known as Uttama Shloka. No amount of chosen words is sufficient to enumerate the Lord's glory, and yet he is satisfied by such prayers, as the Father is satisfied even by the broken linguistic attempts of the growing child. The Lord Maya is used both in the sense of delusion and mercy also. Herein the word Maya is used in the sense of the Lord's mercy upon Kunti Devi. Text number 45. Tambadam iti upamantrya pravishya gajasa vayam striyascha svapuram yasyan premna rajnani varita. Tam all those badam accepted iti thus upamantra subsequently informed pravishya entering gajo vayam gajastan gajastaheri what is this gajastaherayina palace really hard word. Striyacha, other ladies. Svapuram, own residence. Yasyan, while starting for. Premna, in love. Ragna, by the king. Nivarita, stopped. Translation. Thus accepting the prayers of Srimati Kunti Devi, the Lord subsequently informed other ladies of his departure by entering the palace of Hastinapura. But upon preparing to leave, he was stopped by King Yudhishthira, who implored him lovingly. Purport. No one could make Lord Krishna stay at Hastinapura when he decided to start for Dwaraka. But the simple request of King Yudhishthira that the Lord remain there for a few days more was immediately effective. This signifies that the power of the king is loving affection, which the Lord could not deny. The Almighty God is thus conquered only by loving service and nothing else. He is fully independent in all his dealings, but he voluntarily accepts obligations by the loving affection of his pure devotees. Okay, 1 second. Oh, there's someone from Canada. See this? 1 second. Someone messaged me. Registration April 29, phone number Canada. So let's see. Let's send him the link. He's someone from Reddit. Because today in Reddit there was like 7 persons who messaged me that, oh, can I get the link to group? Can I get the link? So I think this is one of them. Let's see if he joins. I need to also share this link. Oh, I need to do it on the phone. Okay, who wants to read the next verse?
I will read, Prabhu. Praveen here.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Text 46. व्यासाद्यैर् ईश्वरेह ज्ञैः कृष्णेनाद्भूतकर्मणा प्रबोधितोऽपि प्रबोधितो अपितिहासैर्नाबुध्याता सुचार्पितः. Vyasadhyaihi, by great sages headed by Vyasa, Ishvara, the Almighty God, Iha, by the will of, Nyaihi, by the learned, Jnanaihi, by the learned, Krishnena, by Krishna himself, Adbhuta Karmana, by one who performs all superhuman work, Prabodhitaha, being solaced, api, although, itihasaihi, by evidences from the histories, not, abudhyata, satisfied, sucha arpitaha, distressed. Translation. King Yudhishthira, who was much aggrieved, could not be convinced, despite instructions by great sages headed by Vyasa and the Lord Krishna himself, the performer of superhuman feats, and despite all historical evidence. Purport. The wise king Yudhishthira was mortified because of the mass massacre of human beings in the battle of Kurukshetra, especially on this account. Duryodhana was there on the throne and he was doing well in his administration, and in one sense, there was no need of fighting. But on the principle of justice, Yudhishthira was to be replaced. The whole clique of politics centered around this point, and all the kings and residents of the whole world became involved in this fight between the rival brothers. Lord Krishna was also there in the side of King Yudhishthira. It is said in the Mahabharata Adi Parva chapter 20 that 640000 men were killed in 18 days in the battle of Kurukshetra, and some hundreds of thousands were missing. Practically, this was the greatest battle in the world within 5,000 years. This mass killing simply to enthrone Maharaja Yudhishthira was too mortifying, so he tried to be convinced with evidences from histories by great sages like Vyasa and Lord himself that the fight was just because the cause was just. But Maharaja Yudhishthira would not be satisfied, even though he was instructed by the greatest personalities of the time. Krishna is designated herein as the performer of superhuman actions. But in this particular instance, neither he nor Vyasa could convince King Yudhishthira. Scroll down, Prabhu. King Yudhishthira. Does it mean that he failed to be a superhuman actor? No, certainly not. The interpretation is that the Lord as Ishvara or the super soul, both in the heart of King Yudhishthira and Vyasa performed still more superhuman action because the Lord desired it. As super soul of King Yudhishthira, he did not allow the king to be convinced by the words of Vyasa and others, including himself, because he desired that the king hear instructions from the dying Bhishma Deva, who was another great devotee of the Lord. The Lord wanted that at the last stage of his material existence, the great warrior Bhishma Deva see the Lord personally as well as his beloved grandchildren, King Yudhishthira, etc., now situated on the throne, and thus pass away very peacefully. Bhishma Deva was not at all satisfied to fight against the Pandavas, who were his beloved fatherless grandchildren. But the Kshatriyas are also very stern people, and therefore he was obliged to take the side of Duryodhana because he was maintained at the expense of Duryodhana. Besides this, the Lord also desired that King Yudhishthira be pacified by the words of Bhishmadeva so that the world could see that Bhishmadeva excelled all in knowledge, including the Lord himself. Text 47. Aharaja dharma sutas chintayansu kridam vadam prakritenatmana vipraha sneha moha vasham gataha. Aha said Raja, King Yudhishthira, Dharma Sutaha, the Lord of Dharma, Yamaraja, Chintayan, thinking of Suhridam, of the friends, Vadham, killing, Prakritena, by material conception only, Atmana, by the self, Vipraha, O Brahmanas, Sneha, affection, Moha, delusion, Vasham, being carried away by, Gataha, having gone. Translation. King Yudhishthira, son of Dharma, overwhelmed by the death of his friends, was aggrieved just like a common materialistic man. O sages, thus deluded by affection, he began to speak. Purport. King Yudhishthira, though he was not expected to become aggrieved like a common man, became deluded by worldly affection by the will of the Lord, just as Arjuna was apparently deluded. A man who sees knows it well that the living entity is neither the body nor the mind, but is transcendental to the material conception of life. The common man thinks of violence and non-violence in terms of the body, but that is a kind of delusion. Everyone is duty bound according to one's occupational duties. A Kshatriya is bound to fight for the right cause, regardless of the opposite party. In such discharge of duty, one should not be disturbed by annihilation of the material body, which is only an external dress of the living soul. All this was perfectly known to Maharaj Yudhishthira, but by the will of the Lord, he became just like a common man because there was another great idea behind this delusion. The king would be instructed by Bhishma as Arjuna was instructed by the Lord himself. Text 48. Aho me pashyata jnanam अहो मे पश्यता ज्ञानम हृदि रुधम दुरात्मनः पारख्यास्यैव देहस्य बह्व्यो मे हताः अहो ओ मे मै पश्यता just see अज्ञानम ignorance Hridi, in the heart, Rudham, situated in Duratmanaha, of the sinful, Parakyasya, meant for others, Eva certainly, Dehasya, of the body, Bahvyaha, many, may, by me, Akshaunihi, combination of military phalanxes, Ataha, killed. Translation. King Yudhishthira said, O my Lord, I am the most sinful man. Just see my heart, which is full of ignorance. This body, which is ultimately meant for others, has killed many phalanxes of men. Purport. A solid phalanx of 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephants, 109,650 infantry, and 65,600 cavalry is called an Akshauni. And many Akshaunis were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Maharaj Yudhishthira as the most pious king of the world, takes for himself the responsibility of killing such a huge number of living beings because the battle was fought to reinstate him on the throne. This body is, after all, meant for others. While there is life in the body, it is meant for the service of others. And when it is dead, it is meant to be eaten up by dogs and jackals or maggots. He is sorry because for such a temporary body, such a huge massacre was committed. Text 49. Baladvija, Baladvija, Suhran, Mitra, Pitri, Pitri, Bhratru, Guru, Druhaha, Namesyan, Nirayan, Moksho, Hyapi, Varshayuta, Yutaihi, Bala, voice, Dvija, that wise born, Suhrit, well-wishers, Mitra, friends, Pitru, parents, Bratar, Brathar, brothers, Guru, preceptors, Druhaha, one who has killed, never, may, Syat, there shall be, Nirayat, from hell, Mokshaha, liberation, he, certainly, Api, although, Varsha, years, Ayuta, millions, Yutaihi, being added. Translation: I have killed many boys, Brahmanas, well-wishers, friends, parents, preceptors, and brothers. Though I live millions of years, I will not be relieved from the hell that awaits me for all these sins. Purport: whenever there is a war, there is certainly a massacre of many innocent living beings, such as boys, Brahmanas, and women, whose killing is considered to be the greatest of sins. They are all innocent creatures, and in all circumstances, killing of them is forbidden in the scriptures. Maharaja Yudhishthira was aware of these mass killings. Similarly, there were friends, parents, and preceptors also on both sides, and all of them were killed. It was simply horrible for him to think of such killing, and therefore he was thinking of residing in hell for millions and billions of years. Text 50. Now no Rajah Praja Bhartur Dharma Yuddhe Vadho Dvisham iti me na tu bodhaya kalpate shasanam vachaha na never enaha sinha rajnyaha of the king Praja Bhartuhu of one who is engaged in the maintenance of the citizens' dharma for the right cause, yuddhe in the fight, vadaha killing, dvisham of the enemies, iti all these may for me, never, to but bodhaya for satisfaction, kalpat.
Okay.
Oh, Praveen, Prabhu, you're muted. Please open the mic.
Okay. Translation: there is no sin for a king who kills for the right cause, who is engaged in maintaining his citizens. But this injunction is not applicable to me. Purport: Maharaj Yudhishthira thought that although he was not actually involved in the administration of the kingdom, which was being carried on well by Duryodhana without harm to the citizens, he caused the killing of so many living beings only for his personal gain of the kingdom from the hands of Duryodhana. The killing was committed not in the course of administration, but for the sake of aggrandizement, and as such, he thought himself responsible for all the sins. Text 51. स्त्रीणां मध्यत बन्धूनां द्रोणो यो अस्वाविहोतिहितः मेधीयैर्नाहं कल्पो व्यपोहितुं स्त्रीणाम् of the women mat by me hata bandhunam of the friends who are killed droha enmity yaha that asau all those iha herewith uttihitaha has acquired karma bihi by dint of work Grahamedinaihi by persons engaged in material welfare. Never. Aham, I, kalpaha, can expect vyapohitum, undergoing the same. Translation: I have killed many friends of women and I have thus caused enmity to such an extent that it is not possible to undo it by material welfare work. Purport: the Grahamedis are those whose only business is to perform welfare work for the sake of material prosperity. Such material prosperity is sometimes hampered by sinful activities, and the materialist is sure to commit sins, even unintentionally, in course of discharging material duties. To get relief from such sinful reactions, the Vedas prescribe several kinds of sacrifices. It is said in the Vedas that by performing the Aswamedha Yajna, horse sacrifice, one can get relief from even Brahmahatya, killing of a Brahmana. Yudhishthira Maharaj performed this Aswamedha Yajna, but he thinks that even by performing such yajnas, it is not possible to get relief from the great sins committed. In the war, either the husband or the brother or even the father or sons go to fight, and when they are killed, a fresh enmity is created, and thus a chain of actions and reactions increases, which is not possible to be counteracted even by thousands of Aswamedha yajnas. The way of work, karma, is like that. It creates one action and another reaction simultaneously, and thus increases the chain of material activities, binding the performer in material bondage. In the Bhagavad Gita 9:27 to 28, the remedy is suggested that such actions and reactions of the path of work can be checked only when work is done on behalf of the Supreme Lord. The battle of Kurukshetra was actually fought by the will of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, and it is evident from his version. And by his will only, Yudhishthira was replaced on the throne of Hastinapura. Therefore, factually, no sin whatsoever touched the Pandavas, who were only the order carriers of the Lord. For others who declare war out of personal interest, the whole responsibility lies on them. Text 52. Yatha Pankena Pankambha Suraya va Surakritam Bhota Hatyam Dathai Vaikham Na Yajnair Marshrutam Arhati Yatha, as much as Pankena, by the mud, Panka Ambaha, water mixed with mud, Suraya, by wine, Va, either Surakritam, impurity caused by the slight touch of wine, Bhota, Hatyam, killing of animals, Tatha, like that, Eva, certainly, Ekam, one, never, Yajnaihi, by the prescribed sacrifices, Marshrutam, to counteract, Arhati, is worthwhile. Translation: as it is not possible to filter muddy water through mud, nor purify a wine stained pot with wine, it is not possible to counteract the killing of men by sacrificing animals. Purport. Ashwamedha yajnas or Gomedha yajnas or the sacrifices in which a horse or a bull is sacrificed were not of course for the purpose of killing the animals. Lord Chaitanya said that such animals sacrificed on the altar of yajna were rejuvenated and a new life was given to them. It was just to come down, bro. It come down. It was just next page. It was just to prove the efficacy of the hymns of the Vedas. By recitation of the hymns of the Vedas in the proper way, certainly the performer gets relief from the reactions of sins. But in case of such sacrifices not properly done under expert management, surely one has to become responsible for animal sacrifice. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, there is no possibility of performing the yajnas perfectly for want of expert Brahmanas who are able to conduct such yajnas. Maharaj Yudhishthira therefore gives a hint to performing sacrifices in the age of Kali. In the Kali Yuga, the only sacrifice recommended in the performance of Harinama Yajna inaugurated by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But one should not indulge in animal killing and counteract it by performing the Harinama Yajna. Those who are devotees of the Lord never kill an animal for self-interest. And as the Lord ordered Arjuna, they do not refrain from performing the duty of a Kshatriya. The whole purpose is therefore served when everything is done for the will of the Lord. This is possible only for the devotees. I think it's over. Come down, bro. Yeah. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 8th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Prayers by Queen Kunti and Parikshit Saved.
Haribo, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, this was really
Thank you
nice.
so much,
words.
Prabhu.
Really good. See, so sometimes they use alcohol to clean things. So here they say you cannot clean with alcohol.
That's why Ashwamedha Yajna is not at all recommended in Kali Yuga.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, it's banned in Kali Yuga.
It's highly
There
prohibited.
is
Yes.
there is no strong man to do it. I don't think some Elon Musk will go there and with his billions and do Ashwamedha Yagna.
Everything is polluted. Even the ghee is also polluted in Kali Yuga. How you can do any sacrifice?
Yes, Prabhu.
And there is a lengthy process for Ashwamedha Yajna as well. It is not just about pouring ghee or some other samidas, I mean, like that wood, pieces of wood into that fire as a sacrifice. Okay, the process is totally different from other yajnas as far as the Ashwamedha Yajna is concerned.
Yes, Prabhu.
So imagine King Yudhishthira is thinking like this, but the modern leaders, they kill billions, but they don't think like this actually, even though they are doing much worse things.
Yeah, now some war is also happening, I heard. Also, you cannot kill women, children, brahmanas, or old men, you know. That's a very great sin. But now
Yes.
they're practically killing all these people. The old people, the young people, or even the pious, you know, maybe some in a church if there's a priest or some imam in a mosque. I don't know. They're killing all of them.
This is also one tactic of the countries, because, like, for example, in Russia, what is happening sometimes when the leaders notice that, okay, now we are starting to have too much old people, then they start a war with some country and they send like the people who are just on the brink of becoming old, they send them to the war to die. So they will have in the future only young people again, and you don't have to worry about what to do with the old people. So sometimes they start wars and send the old people there.
Wow.
Yes, Prabhu, it's crazy. These wars are actually big business to kind of like farm the humans, keep them in control. Like when you cut a forest a little bit from somewhere to keep it in control, these wars are like that. They keep the population in control, so they pay taxes and go to work. Okay, next chapter will be the passing away of Bhishma Dev in the presence of Lord Krishna. Really interesting chapter. Yeah, the previous one was also one of the most important ones. Okay, now we go to Shikshastakam prayers.
And one more point, bro, that the verse 43 is also one of the most important verses in this chapter.
Yes, Prabhu.
43.
Oh, what did I
See,
do?
look at that verse, Prabhu. See, Sri Krishna, Krishna Sakha, Vrishni, Rishabhavani, Dhrug, Rajneya, Vamsa, Dahanana, Pavarga, Virya, Govinda, Godvija, Surariti, Haravatara, Yogeshwarakhila, Guru, Bhagavan, Namaste. The third line, see, third sentence, okay, Govinda, Godvija, Surarti, Haravatara. That means, see, in fact, he has descended himself to relieve the distresses of the cows, brahmanas, and the devotees. Godvija Surarti. Yes. So that is why you should not, in fact, kill cows.
Yes, Prabhu.
So Praveen Prabhu, you're coming to temple on the 8th. I think few
Yes.
days left, no?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Haribo.
I'm
Oh, you
starting
confirmed
tomorrow
it.
evening.
Okay. Nice.
Are
Very
you in the
good.
temple now?
No, you can see around. I'm not in temple. I'm in my hostel now.
Karmi temple.
Yeah, maybe I Saturday night I'll be there in the temple. Hopefully, let's see.
But as soon as I reach Pondicherry, whom do I need to call up?
You can call Shamgwan Prabhu. I mean, he's right here in the meeting also.
He has joined back. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So you can, or maybe he's busy with some service. I'm not sure. But what you can do is you can just text him, and then you can give him a call saying, "Yes, Prabhu, I'm in Pondicherry. Is it possible for any devotee to pick me up?" And then usually a devotee can come via bike.
In fact, that is not needed, Prabhu. I can
No, the
I can
auto and
reach
all
the
is
destination by minutes.
too expensive. The auto is too expensive, Prabhu. It's unnecessarily expensive. About 400 to 500 rupees. So, yeah. So if you're coming, if it's okay with you, you can, of course, just message Shamban Prabhu and then ask him or call him also that time and see if he can arrange.
See, my point is, see, I will reach there at about 9 a.m. IST. So my point is they might be in a Bhagavatam class at the same
Yes.
time.
Yeah, correct.
Maybe I will try to talk to Syam Govind Prabhu tomorrow before I start from here.
Yeah, you speak to him, Prabhu. Generally,
Hmm.
yeah, like if you can go by the bike, it'll be easier because you'll save some money. Unnecessarily, you can giving them the auto gas money is not nice. But yeah, anyway,
Okay. Let us see,
you
bro.
can
Let us complete this Sikshastka and talk. Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So I will
So,
start.
Swami Prabhu.
All right, Sami Prabhu, you can start if you want, or I can start.
You can start, Prabhu.
सेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनम् श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणम् विद्यावादुजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदां पूर्णामृतास्वादनम् सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस् तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपन् भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमे त्रिशमिह जीनानुराग्रह Trinadapi.
Tami Prabhu to next one, Prabhu. Next. Yeah, you're on the second, third. Yeah.
Trinadapi sanchena tarorapi saisnana avanina manadena kirtaniya sada hari.
नटनाजनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीशामये मम जन्मनीश्वरे भवता भक्ति अहेतुकी त्वयि
Ainandatanjukinkaram patitam ambisme bhavambudau कृपया तव पाद पंकज स्थित धूलि सदृशं विचिन्तय
नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गधारधाय गिरा पुलकैर्निशितं वपुकधा तव नामे ग्रहणे भविष्यति
युगाइदं निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्राप्तछायितं शून्यायितं जगत् सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे
अशिश्लवा पदरथं पिनष्टु मामदर्शनं मर्मं हठं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदतुलन् पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नार्पणः
Ribo, glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge, it increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Oh
O
my
my Lord,
Lord,
your holy name. Okay. Oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. These transcendental In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. They are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach by chanting your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction.
one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the strongest heat, one foot more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of atoms of your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to like to appear more tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord unconditionally.
Haribol, Sri Sixastakam ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai. Karti
Krishna
Prabhu ki
Chaitanya
Jai.
Mahaprabhu ki Jai.
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 Bahu Janma Kare Yada Shravana Kirtana Rabhutana Paya Krishna Pade Prema Dana. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, he will not get the love of Godhead. That is the ultimate goal of this chanting. These offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. The first offense, to blaspheme the devotees who've dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second offense, to
Second,
consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent to the holy name of Lord Vishnu.
third offense, the
Fourth offense, to blaspheme the Vedic literature and Persians to the Vedic version.
Fifth offense, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination.
Sixth offense, to give some mundane interpretation on the holy names of the Lord.
Seventh offense, to commit
Seven
sinful
offense to commit sinful activities on strength of the holy name of the Lord.
Eighth offense, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karmaka, and
Ninth offense, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
10th offense, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema, I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They fulfill the desires of everyone just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
Anshakatarubhashta kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Namaha. And the Gaudiya
अनंत
Vaishnava.
कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.
Hari
I was
Bol.
waiting for you to say it, Swami Prabhu, but there was some 3-second delay. Sorry for saying
No
that.
problem. Thank you for doing it. Thank you so much for everyone to joining of the reading session, and Shama Govinda Prabhu especially. Thank you so much for giving your association for us.
Thank you so much.
Hare
Really.
Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Then from Jai Prabhupada.
All goes to Prabhupada.
Prabhu.